Hello friends, this is Ganesh. Hope you are doing great. In this video, we are going to see about smart table options. I believe the last or previous video, we have seen how to enable or how to add the code for smart table, which display the data directly from your entity set. So you don't want to do much on it. Once the entity set is ready, just plug into a smart table, then it will take care of everything. So this is similar like our ALV. So once we use the function module and just pass the basic information about your data and field catalog, then automatically it will display everything in an ALV format along with standard toolbar buttons that will be very helpful for the users, especially for sorting, filtering, and different layouts and everything. So almost a similar thing which we have or we are going to use in the smart table also. So today we're going to see few options about the smart table as well as the smart filter bar, and then we have a lot to learn. So today we're going to see these two options, like what is the entity set and what are the properties, which very basic properties which might require for a beginner to learn about the smart table. Okay, so let's get into the slide first. So we are going to see mostly the properties of the smart table as well as the smart filter. So the first one, the smart table, we are going to use a basic one is the entity set. So once you have an entity set, just plug into your smart table property, then it will take care of it. So for that, the property which we need is entity set, which we have already used it. And then we are going to use the initial visible fields. By default, if the customer needs out of 10, I want always the 5 to 7 fields to be displayed by default. No, I don't want to go and select every time. If that is the case, you have to use a property called initial visible fields, and within double quotes you have to use the field names from your entity set, and make sure there is no space between the fields. It is separated only by comma. If any extra fields or extra space between the fields, then it won't, that particular field is won't avail or visible in the initial time when loading a page itself, your fields to be added, so then it won't come on that. So make sure on that one. And this is just an example. So once you add the fields, by default, once the page is refreshed or open it, they will see those fields whatever you added in this property, it will be disabled, like it will be displayed like this. And the table type, we have different table type. We have, mostly we use a table as a one, or by default it's a table. Otherwise you can have a tree table, analytical, and responsive table. So we will see these three little quite later, and today we're going to see about the table type is table. And if it's a tree table, by default you have the first one is a parent and child. By default it will take all the record. First record is the parent one. So we have few things to be added for the child. Quite later we'll see in another video. And today we're going to see, mostly we're going to use table type as type only. And the other ones are header information. So here header is small h, it's not capital, sorry for that. And then header equal to whatever informations you want to be, the header information or title you want to be displayed here, you can be able to give it. And then show row count is nothing but number of records based on your selection. It may be an initial selection or any filters you applied, depends on the selection, it will change how many records has been selected based on your input or filter. So if you want that option to be enabled, use the property called show row count. Okay, so I just placed based on the same camel case here S is small, R and C are capital. If anything missed, just ignore and just use whatever it's coming. Anyway, you will have the control space bar option. It will show you the exact name and the format as well. Okay, and enable auto column width, it's easy to understand. So if you want to enable the auto column width, then you have to use the option true. By default it is false, so if you want to use it, just make use of this property. And use export to Excel. Currently in the current version, this is also enabled by default. Even if you're not using it, by default it is enabled. Even if you use it, will you can able to see a red strike mark. It shows it's not, I can say, absolute from a ABAP perspective. So it's actually depreciated, so you don't want to use it now. Okay, and if you feel I don't want to use this by default one, and you can make use of this as false. Till this version it is working, but going forward they may just remove this permanently. And enable auto binding property or is nothing but once the screen is refreshed or opened, by default you need the data to be displayed. So if not, suppose based on the input only the information to be displayed, then you can make this as a false. Then based on the input they click go, and then it will automatically populate your table. Or by default, if you want it without any filter, if you want to be whatever content is coming from the entity set needs to be displayed, then use this option as true. And edit toggable is just to enable the pencil option in your smart table. We are going to use the option called edit toggable. So if you use this and just click, it automatically keep the fields editable mode. And persistent key is nothing but this property helps you to make a version or sorry variant management. See, you know about the variants, right? On your input screen, if you want to save the whatever input information you have added in the screen, you don't want to repeat it again. So if you want to save it, you can do that. Control S, it will open a variant page, right? So that is nothing but the persistent key in Smart Table. So here you can give any name, any custom name you can give. So then it will enable the option here after your title. The option is like you can, this is in a smart table level. So if you want just do a different layout, initially I have two fields, then I want five fields for my view, then you can just save. You can just do all the fields and you can save with a name. Then here I saved with the name as L1. Standard is by default 1. So if you have this property, automatically standard is also added in that. Okay, and L1 standard is nothing but based on your code. So based on the code, initially you visible only two fields, but you want five fields for your own layout, you can do it and you can save it, and you can keep this also default. There is a manage button, I will show you that as well. And some reason user doesn't want this option at all, then you have a property called use variant management as false. By default it's true. So for using a persistent key, you don't want to use this property as true. By default is a true only. So I'm saying if it is a by default, you don't want to use a property at all. Okay, so here just your person key name is, it will enable it. You don't want this option, then use this property as false. Okay, so these are related to the smart table properties. And the next one is okay, filter bar options. So filter bar is nothing but before your table, the smart table, if you want to enable the filter options, okay, for the user, then you have to use one more option called filter bar option. It's also coming under smart table. So here maybe it's the code which we are going to write is a smart table first, and on top of it we are going to write the code for the filter bar. Okay, so the first one is entity set to be same of your smart table, then only it both actually in a sync mode. And then you have to use a property called enable basic search equal to true. Once you have this property as true, you will get all these buttons. So standard, search, go, hide filter bars and filters. With this one property, these will be enabled. And if the filter option is enabled, this one, so if you click, it will display all the applicable fields based on your entity set. You can make use of it. The user can select. Once they select, there is a checkbox. Multiple fields can be selected. Once they select, automatically all the fields are listed after the search, maybe the second line of the statement, or not a statement of the search bar option. All the selected input fields are going to be added here. And after that, if you want hide filter bar, you can use it, or you can say show filter bar is a toggle button. Okay, so that is nothing but hide filter bar. Whenever you have additional input filters or enabled, then will be very useful. Okay, by default you don't have it. As per the code, you won't have anything over here apart from the search filter option. So every time user has to go filters and select it and add it, and they can save as a, with the help of persistent key, they can save here as well. So I want to save my design in the filter level also, then yes, that is also possible with the help of persistent key. Okay, so make sure you have a different name between your smart table and smart filter bar options, because if you give a same name, it will the same layout will be enabled in both bar filter bar as well as your smart table. So make sure you have different names on the persistent key level. And so if the user instead of the user selection, we want to display the by default a few input box or a few fields to be in the searchable mode, then I have to display, I have to enable it, right? By default, whenever there is a refresh or page opens, those fields also to be displayed here. If that is the case, we have a property called visible in advanced area. So here I just used order ID and required date is not from this filters. By default, it is enabled. So what happens is, against these two fields, I use the property called visible in advanced area is true, then automatically these fields are displayed here. And search is another property called on search. Whenever you, okay, before that, this search, excuse me, now you can, even now you're able to see the screen, you have a search, you have order ID and required date. Then what this search is going to be? So this is the common search. Maybe you might have heard, right, about the search fields we have discussed in our previous videos. So once you start typing that, it will start searching for all the fields whichever is applicable. So how you get applicable? That field is nothing. They have use a property called is binary, not binary, is search element is true, I believe, I'm not sure, that is in the metadata I'm saying. So once you generate it, they have to use annotation, this field is okay to search. Okay, if that is enabled, then this search is going to be search in all that particular fields also. Suppose I have an order ID and order name, and I have that option is enabled only in order name, and this search is applicable for order name. So order ID, order name, and ship to address. So order name and ship to address are applicable, then it will search both the fields. Okay, so that is the use of this search. But here, whatever I'm using is not when none of the field have that option enabled. So this search is not going to be useful in my current scenario. Okay. So here already and required date it's in the visible in advanced search. So search equal to on search. While on searching itself, I want some help information to be added. Yes, if that is the case, you have to use search equal to on search. Once you start typing a 3 or 4 characters, it will show what are the applicable values are available. You can pick from that also. Okay, for that you can use the property called search. And one more is control configurations. Actually, a few things are coming under control configurations only, like enabling the fields and all other steps. So here, one of the stuff in control configuration is select option. Suppose I want to use a select option in my smart table. Like I want to give a low, I want to give a high priority, high values, maybe between, greater than, less than. So everything, if you want, then you have to use a control configuration and the property called select option. So that will help you to give the values, random sequence and everything, excuse me, like including, excluding, all options are available with the help of the property called select option. In this property, you have three fields, like low, not three fields. So there are basic fields, low, operator, and high. You can give the value on it, then it will display like this. Here I mentioned 10 to 1 lakh, yes, no, sorry, 10 lakhs, so values. Okay, so then the low value is 10, this is the high value. So and then I used the character call, the operator call between, then it will display like this. Okay. And another one is under the control configurations, you have date range type. So by default, these are the two date fields, required date and order date. If you see, required date is a normal date field. I didn't add any other functionality or additional property over there. So if you select with the help of this button, it will have, you will get a date pop up and select the date. You'll get particular date in the format. And if you use the property called date range type, then you'll have these also enabled. Not only date, lot of options available, like this month, last month, quarter wise, from month to. So a lot of options available. Once the particular field, you have to added a condition type as directly from this library. I'm using a date range type. Okay, then automatically it will be added in the particular date. Suppose all the dates, whatever you're using in that, if you, all the dates to be enabled with these options, instead of adding one by one, you can add it in the smart filter bar, sorry, smart table level. So use the same option called date range type is true, then what are the fields available, it will be applicable for everything. So that's what it mentioned in the help, but I just tried it, but I couldn't, it is not apply for all the dates. Maybe I'm not sure where I just did a mistake, but you can try it. So here I'm going to apply in the field level, not in the global one. Okay, that's it. Let's go to the bash now. So this is my workspace. It's in bash. So we know how to create the trial account and everything. And here I used the Northwind. So you don't worry about your on-premise system or cloud connector. If you're beginners to learn it, so this will help you at least to work around with the different UI5 elements. Okay, this is especially from ABAP. I already mentioned this is ABAP to UI5. It's not fresh UI5 people. So who are in ABAP, they just transform their career to the UI5. This might help on it. So here I'm going to create one new project from template. So okay. So here I can use like create an SAP application with elements or freestyle approach. I'll go with this start, and in that I'm going to use a basic template. Was we're going to write the code for everything. Then here, what is the option? I'm going to use connect O data service. So I have the service already available. This is available for everyone. So let me copy it quickly. Yeah, paste it. So the same thing I used in the previous videos also. So nothing much, nothing new. Next, in the view name, smart table, sorry, so smart table options. Okay, next, so project name is also smart table. So options, okay, I think it's good. Then, okay, projects is already available. I'll go with this. Okay, okay, that's it. Finish. So it's done. It's asking not in the current workspace. So if you want to open a folder, I say, okay, let's add project to my workspace. So here it's added it. So SD options, this is my storyboard. We don't want this right now. Close it. So now you can see, what is that? Yeah, web app, local servers and metadata is already there because of the UI servers, what data servers we used. And you can see your manifest also, it's added. Okay, so now go to view. So here I'm going to use few things. Okay, the basic one. So I'll go about this vertical box. And this is for content. Sorry, after box. See, that's what I'm saying. This is ABAP or ABAP to UEFI. Okay. So content, I close it. Okay, I'm good with that. So now I'm going to have a smart table. So smart table, yes. Okay, I have the tag. Okay, this you know about this. So ID because the flux enable is true in manifest.json. That's the reason every tag it will ask for ID. So what I'm going to do is go to manifest and keep this option as false. Okay, flux enable is false. Okay, now it just takes few seconds to remove this red line. So don't worry about it. Please continue. So the first property I'm going to use is entity set. It's gone now. Entity set as order. So I'm going to use it. If you want, okay, where is my metadata? So here you can see the entity and entity type and entity set. So this is my entity order, and you can find orders. It's actually or end with S or entity sets actually. Okay, oh no, 51. Okay, my bad. Categories. GR. Yes, categories is little less. Okay. Yes, here is the entity set. So here you can find one of the entity set name is orders. So this is what I'm going to use it. Okay. So go here, entity set as orders, and then I'm going to use initially visible fields over here. And I know the field names, order ID, and another one is customer ID, I believe. If not, go here and make sure order ID. Okay, so you have order ID. One second. So this is a different one. Yeah, this is the order. So different entity type. I'm just checking because order ID is available in different entities also, but I want the source. So source is actually order. Okay, over here. So these are the property name or field name. So I'm going to use order ID, customer ID, employee ID information. So I'm going to say, okay, order ID and ship city and address as the initial fields. So ship city and I want ship address. That's it. So now I'm going to execute it and see how this look like. This is enough. Actually, entity set itself enough to just create your smart table. All other properties or optionals based on your need, you can just add it. So now we have one is ST options. So here, start ST options. So take few seconds and it open a new window and show how your smart table looks like. It's so here with two or three initial fields. Yeah, three initial fields. So here order ID, spice city, spice address, and everything. No data available. Okay. Okay, how do you use 1 minute? Auto enable also and enable auto binding is true. It's I didn't stop it, so it auto refresh here. Okay. So now you have the data, but if you're not using the auto enable option, one auto binding option, normally you have a go button here once you enable the search, the filter option. Then if you click go, it will take the informations. Okay. So this has a lot of details. So I didn't add any other options how about the layout and everything. That's the reason it just holds only three. It visibles only 5 records. Okay, so we'll add one by one. So now I'm going to add. Maybe I can add the auto column width. I can add the property as well. So here I'm going to say auto enable auto column width. It's true. Okay, and I can use header as order details. Let's see how it reflects here. So the auto column width and I have order details also. So it's total 830 records. So here I'm going to use one more option. Suppose if you don't want it, the show count, right? What is that? Show row count. So by default it's true. I make it as false. Then you're not able to see that one. Okay. So if you want that information, then you have to add the row count as true, or default it's coming, not an issue. So then the another property is table type. By default, it's table. So table type is, suppose I'm giving tree table. Control spacebar, it gives the values for her tree table. I have added anything else. Okay. Use export to Excel. I think that is not available here because that is depreciated. I can say equal true. Okay. Maybe E small. No. Export. Yes, this is the actual name, but it automatically shows this property is depreciated. That's what you are seeing the strikeout over there. So since the version 1.10, okay. So, but still it is working. So if you say true, automatically it will enable, false, it will disable the export to Excel option. And then, okay, let's see how it's reflects here. It's automatically refreshed, or here you have export to Excel. If you click, automatically whatever your selection, it comes there. And show row count as true. Okay. So I am in the tree table. So tree table, you don't have the row count is not enabled for the tree table. So this is just a tree table. It's not a normal table. So only parents are enabled, not the child, because we didn't write a code on it. So if you want the show row count, then change the table type as table. Yes. Okay. Then just go over here. You're able to see that one. It's 8:30. Okay. So then I'm going to use the variant. So for the variant, we have the option called persistency key. Is just a name, maybe smart table one. Okay, that's it. Now go here. You have a arrow button, down arrow button with one option called standard. So here it is. You don't have much on it. So now what I'm going to do was I'm going to this settings properties. So here I'm going to add a few details and just click OK. And now I want to save this as my layout. So go here and you have an option called save as, and you can see my layout one and save it. If you want, you can use as set default. So for that, go here, manage which one by default you want to see that one. So I'm click my option as a default, my layout as default, and save it. You can just refresh. By default, it will find your own format, layout format, and display all the fields. Now if you change to standard, you will get only the initial visible fields, the only three things we have added it. So excuse me, these are the options. Yes, we have. And if you make use of this false, go here. It's automatically disable that option. Okay. So now we are going to add, this is very simple how to use basic options and just explore based on your requirement. And here we are going to have now a smart table filter. Uh, smart table, oh, sorry, smart filter bar. Okay, I'm going to use the smart filter bar. So basic thing is entity. Entity is same orders. And ID plays a role. We'll see what is that actually. ID, right? Yes, ID is smart filter bar one. Okay. So the same ID to be added in a smart table. Okay, let's see. If not, what will happen? So next, I'm going to have enable basic search as true. That's it. And now go to your app. So after refresh, so you'll be able to see the search option as well as go hide filter bar and filters. Okay, so to show filters here, add them to the filter bar in filters. So if you go here, you're able to see what are the fields. If you want, you can add it. So order ID, ship city, and ship address. Okay, so it comes here. Now, what is the ship city? I didn't add it. Okay, fine. Let's have the city also. Oh, it's there. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, city is here. I'm going to say LYON. Enter. Nothing happens. Go. Nothing happens because the ID is not mapped with your table. So you have an ID, right? Smart filter bar ID that needs to be mapped with your smart table also. So what is that? SFP1. So add it here. Filter ID. Yeah, smart filter ID or smart filter bar ID. I think this is the one. Let's check. Let's check FP1. Okay. SFP1, SFP1. Okay. Filter ship city. Okay. Okay. So here LYON. So it's working now because the ID is mapped with whatever the ID we have given the smart bar ID. It's mapped with your smart table also. So it's worked. And it shows what are the filters you have, how many filters you have. And if you go here, you can see what are the filters active against the field. This is active, so that is a dot, it's active. And if you want to see the values, or here also you can go and you can have you can see the values. Orders shipped to here. Okay, that's it. So now, so the next what we're going to do is let me have the persistent key over here also. Let's have it. Persistence key as smart filter bar SFP. Okay, so here it is ST1, here is SFP. And go here, you can now, the user can save the filter options, the user input options. Okay, and for here, go to filter, city, order ID, required address. Okay, and I'm going to say LYON and address as it's almost same. Okay, let me take this out. And order ID is greater than 10,450. Sorry, 10,450. Okay, enter. So this is the criteria I want. I want to save this option. So I don't want every time I come and do that. So go here. Now it's enabled because added the persistent key as true. Save as. So my filter layout one. I can say set as default. Save it. Now refresh. So you're able to see the layout because it's the default one. So here by default you're able to see that. Okay, if you want manage, go here, you can manage it. Suppose user doesn't want the option that persistent key variant options in the layout level. No one should change the layout. So then what you can do is there is a property. I'm talking about the table level. So the property is use variant management. Oops, it's all right. Visible fields. Okay, use variant management is false. So what will happen? it won't give that option to change the layout. By default, this is a layout, not only default, so all the customers should use the same layout. Then you don't have that option at all. If you want, use the property called use variant management. Okay, so let's, either you can remove it or you can see true, both are same in the default level. So the next one is I'm going to use the select options. So for that I need I'm sorry, yeah, I need one more filter here. So smart filter control configuration. So you can see here it's small c and capital C control configurations, because one more tag also we call it as control configuration. So if you say inside the control configuration, if you open a tag, automatically it shows what is there. So you have one more control configurations. Excuse me. So here I'm going to use control configurations for what? So which key you want. So you have to give the field name, which field name you're going to have the control configuration over here. So for me, I want okay, order ID. Okay. And order ID, if you want, this needs to be added all time instead of selecting or using a layout option. By default, I want this to be added in the search options. So you have an option called visible in advanced area as true. Okay, so go here. I think it will go with my layout. Yes. Let me change this public save. I'm sorry. Go to default. Yeah, public, and this is the default one. Save it. And there's a default. So once the refresh, the order is selected. Now, if you see, the order ID is already placed. If you want, I can do the refresh again. I'm just refreshing it. So by default, you will see the order ID is also in the search options. Okay, because I have added it here. Okay. So then now, if you want to add select options, I want to give some options to that, right? So I can say default filter values and open the tab, you'll get select options. So here you have to add the fields. So select options is low. So what is the low field? I can say from 10,500 between. Okay, if you say only low 10,000, let's see what happens. So go here. By default, it shows 10,000, and go to the filter options, and you can see the value over here also. Order ID is 10,000. Now I'm going to use the operator. Operator is between. You can see the operator values here. Any, contains, end with, equal, greater, everything is available here. I'm going with between. And if it is a between, I need a high property. The high property may be 30, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. And go here, you're able to see the between options in the order ID field. So 10,000 to 30,000, go to filter, it's a little bigger, you can see the value, entire values. Okay, yes, 10,000 to 30,000. So this is the way we can use the select options by default if you want to add it to a field in the filter option. Okay, so that is the property we are using, and the next one I'm going to have one more. So let me copy, okay, not this. Okay. So here I don't want any default values. So let me delete it. So key is for order date. That should be visible in my 1 minute. Yeah, visible in the visible advanced area, and then one more is required date. True. That's it. So go here. Both are date fields. So here you can see the order date and the values are like equal, greater than, and everything over here. And then if you want between also, you're able to make it. Okay, just click OK. So it's apply, but I don't think it have any data. It's very old data. So let's close it. Enter. Okay. So now I'm going to add a property called date range type. Okay, so with the help of condition type, we're going to add that one. Means it's kind of one of the library. It's maybe method. So I'm going to make use of that. So maybe for first one, I'm going to use condition type. Okay, maybe I can use it a little down for a visibility. And let me copy the line. So condition type equal this. So I'm getting from the UI.com.config condition, and the option is date range type. Okay. Now go here. You can see the difference in the icons. So here there is a different icon for date, and here's a different icon. So if you click, it will show you which if you want a date, today, yesterday, tomorrow, from and to, day to year, year to date, X days, weeks or quarters, this week. So a lot of options available. Okay. So you can go with from and to. So it will ask. So maybe I can say July 1996. Okay. From July 1 to, okay, 1996 I can have 1, 2, 3, 1 to 5 I can go. So 1996. And here it is July and 1 and year like 1 to 4. So I get only 2 records. I apply, or I'm not sure. Okay, enter. Yes, July 1 to 4. Okay, oh, I have option here. Just delete it. Why? 1 minute. And July 1, 4, 1996, right? So from to 1996, July 1 to 5. Yeah, July 1, 1996. That was also 1996. 5. Apply, enter. Yes. So July 3 and 4 is included here. Okay, I'm not sure the time whether included or not. So this way we can use date range type option for the date field, and by default, if once you enable the smart table, you have all these options by default. You don't want to add anything, so ascending, descending. It's same like an ALB. Everything is based on whatever needs is available. So based on that, they are able to make it. Okay. So a lot of options. This is just a beginning about the smart table. Just go here and you can use hide filter bar. This is just to hide your filter bar or show the filter bar option. So nothing much. Just go through and play around with this. We have more options. We'll come with the different videos about those options. That will be helpful for you. Okay. So thank you so much for your time, and hope this might be useful. Play around. Let me know if you have any questions. So thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye.